Hi everyone, I'm Daniela from MatchPoint, and we are here to be answering all of your burning questions about networking and events. I am so excited. Today I have Paul Abdool with me, a GTM strategist and former CRO who spent 25 plus years helping enterprise teams connect the dots between strategy, technology, and human engagement. He recently published his book, congratulations, called From Workout to Last Call, a practical guide to networking. And today he's here to share some of his knowledge and experience about networking with us. So, Paul, thank you so much for being here.
You're very welcome. Thanks for
I'm,
having me.
s- yeah, of course, I'm so excited to get into this. Are you ready for your rapid fire question?
Yeah.
Cool. So, this is it. How can introverted professionals navigate the evolving networking landscape to build valuable connections without experiencing burnout?
Well, there's a few things. One, it's not just about them, it's about where they're networking. So more and more events are considering introverts in their events as well. So first of all, what can introverts do? So if you go out or you're planning on going to network, rest,
Mm.
get some sleep, hydrate, because really the definition of an introvert is somebody who gets tired from networking versus an extrovert who gains energy from networking. So you're going to go there and you're going to leave tired. And so that's part of the whole title of the book, From Workout to Last Call. It's all day. Whatever your start point is to your last call, it could be right after that first happy hour, or it could be later into the evening, or whatever works for you. But the key is to stay energized. And now, the other thing that I've mentioned to people as well is that introverts are better networkers. They can be networking ninjas and they can out network an extrovert. So, what can they do? They can start off by meeting one person one on one. I like to call it uh, C's and circles. If you see a circle, it's tough for a networker to break into that. But if something's open, they can go in and talk to that one person. Now the other thing is sometimes you're with an extrovert or a colleague. It's good to work as a team. So if you work with an extrovert or another introvert, that's good. Um, Another thing that's really important to understand is that introverts have deep conversations, and that's good. That's okay. Now, if you want to be more, if you say to yourself, I'm an introvert and speaking to two people isn't good enough because I'm trying to grow my network, the key is to set a goal that's just a little bit bigger, like working out. You lift 10 pounds one day, lift 15 pounds the next time. You meet two people, meet four people next time. It's not about trying to emulate an extrovert. And so I think the key is to know yourself, be genuine, take notes, meet people afterwards as well. So sometimes introverts feel bad about stopping a conversation, but that's okay. You can stop a conversation, meet up with them later for coffee, whether it's virtual or in person. All of those things are important.
Damn, I feel like you just dropped a roadmap on how to network if you're an introvert. I love that. And I have to say, my favorite thing is how you started is just talking about like, hey, make sure you have energy, like take a nap or get good rest the night before. I feel like those are things that are often not just said to us, you know? It's like very just like deep human needs that like go over our head and like, okay, yeah, of course I'm gonna sleep before, but like sometimes we forget how important it actually is, especially for an introvert. I feel like everyone needs a good night's rest before a conference, but
Sure.
there's like I'm sure you've done so much research. There's like physiological data that shows you that like okay, if you're an introvert and you're going out and speaking to a sea of people, like you need sleep. I love that you mentioned that. I also love that you said about working with others because we often think about going to networking events or conferences and like, oh, it's like it's all on me to meet the people and like bring the ROI back to the company. But you can even have a conversation like if you're going with your colleague to an event and, know your strength but also know your weaknesses, and you can talk to that colleague and say, hey, like let's tag team this, like let's do this together so we can make the most out of our time here, right? Because that's what everybody wants. So I think that's a really strong thing that I actually haven't heard anyone say before. So I love that you mentioned that, Paul.
Well, yeah, I've learned these things by accident or
Yes.
being out there. One of the things that I did with someone, and it was by accident again, I call it beachfront property move. So everybody wants to go to the bar or the food, but there's a line, and sometimes you can't get to it, especially if it's included in the event. And including somebody in your space is good. So if you're sitting there and you have that spot on the beach that everybody wants, you can invite people in, whether they're an extrovert, an introvert, whether they talk to you for a while or they don't. And I learned that at a conference where there was this a couple of folks from the UK that were looking like so frustrated because somebody wouldn't be kind and let them in, and so I found that worked very well.
That's a hot tip. Like, if you have a good spot at the bar, just look around you. Like if people are struggling, just have them come in and then you
Yeah,
start a
and,
conversation right
and
there.
it's a great thing to do as a team. If you and your colleague are sitting side by side and you naturally create a space for them to enter, it's like a human pipeline almost.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Paul, this was really great. I'm sure that you can dive so much deeper into this stuff, but I feel like that's all kind of into your book, right?
That's right.
That roadmap that you laid out, that's like the structure of your book, and I think that, we only have so much time today, but I think that there can be so much conversation about the stuff you said, but I think that that is a great starting point. And hey, if you're watching this and you've found something interesting in what Paul said, then definitely make sure to check out his book. I'll post the link somewhere so people don't miss it.
There you go. And reach out to me. I will have no problem speaking to folks on LinkedIn or wherever we can meet.
Amazing. All right, Paul, thank you so much for being here with us.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.